They still haven't really told me. They never did.
I found out because one day I woke up and my dad wasn't there, his truck wasn't there, the trailer wasn't there.
My mom just sort of went to stay in a hotel and didn't really come home.
And I was talking to my mom and I asked her, "Hey, where's Dad?" And she told me that he'd left. So
Now she's told me she doesn't really blame me, but like when I was younger, I was a daddy's girl, so I was very like, no, don't touch my dad, like he's mine, and like so he wouldn't like kiss her in public or hold her hand in public because I was so needy. And she said that like she just lost the romance factor.
it's probably not the child's fault in the end. If it is, then there's something else going on, but generally speaking, that's not the case. And yeah.
When my mom told me that it was basically my fault that the romance was gone, I felt like, yeah, of course it's my fault, but I knew that that had been happening since I was a child, and they stayed together and worked things through. I think it was like my dad really shut down after he lost his parents, so.
I'm not exactly sure why my parents split. My dad says it was because my mom was cheating. My mom never really said anything because she didn't want to put any ideas in our head as to what was going on.
Oh, your mom's a whore. She's been, having sex with your neighbor for who knows how long. My dad didn't care about her, and he became an alcoholic and an avid drug user, and he was dating a lot of the wrong people. So it was really hard to sort of pick who I wanted to be with because I felt like guilty for my dad, and I felt so bad for him.
I sided with my mom for sure.
Yeah, there was like a game of tug of war. Like, I was never really like pulled to one side more than the other for a really long time. I was just like arms being ripped.
It was never really an attempt to spend more time with her rather than it was an attempt to spend less time with him.
Like, I still to this day can't really pick between them, even though like my mom's my best friend, but I still feel like so much guilt like towards my dad.
We actually prolonged the marriage to a point where maybe it went on too long.
I think I was a big part in them staying together as long as they did. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
They couldn't stay together for the kids anymore.
I don't know, I was a snoopy kid, and I like was snooping through the house when my mom had left, and my mom had written letters to my dad while they still lived together, and my dad had done the same, and that's how they talked. And like reading those when you're 13 is like, it's like you can read a marriage crumble like that, like see all like hope being lost.
He definitely tried to use the money to buy our affection.
Even now I notice he doesn't do half the things my mom does for me. Like, I wouldn't be here if they were together, and like I wouldn't have the things that I have had it not been for my mom and my stepdad.
We wanted something more personal, we wanted more connection. We didn't want more things to shove in the closet when we were done touching them.
I feel like I was very selfish, and I stayed with my mom more and my stepdad more because they gave me more. But like my dad always, sorry. My dad, he'd always just give me love, and that's all I needed. And I just feel like I didn't give him enough of a chance to do that, because I was scared to stay with him because of like what he had turned into. Like, he was being selfish, like himself, like he was drinking, and he never really had food in the house, and he was gone and dating like these really disgusting women, and bringing me into that.
I was playing and I jabbed myself in the chest with a stick. And I came upstairs like crying because like it really hurt, and I was only 9 and I didn't know how to deal with that. And I told him what happened, and he assumed that I got into a fight with my brother, so he grabbed me by the collar of my shirt and dragged me downstairs to apologize. And so I think that was the point where it was the final straw.
My mom, I remember one time she just found out I was with him at one of his girlfriend's house, and he was stoned, and I didn't know then, but I know now. And she had seen something on Facebook about how I was there, and she got from Medicine Hat to Irvin in like 5 minutes, and that's like a half an hour drive. Like, she could have killed herself, and she just came and she went in that house and she ripped me out of there and slapped my dad, and I never got to go back after that until like my dad would like leave her, and he did. He left his girlfriend, and he changed everything to come in, be with me, and I never really went back to him.
I want to say I was solely responsible for cutting ties with my dad for the most part, but I know it wasn't like, it was a majority me, but it wasn't like completely me. He didn't try as much as I'd like him to, so.
He got a house and made sure I had a room, and he always bought me like my favorite like food and my favorite shampoo, and I would never come to use it or anything, and he always like made a room for me, and he made my bed every day, and he did like everything like he had a child and I wasn't there.
I think that was the defining moment where there was no way I was going back. Like, it was bad, it got worse, and then I think I skipped out on a few weekends there before I turned 16 because I just had such a bad experience there that I just couldn't do it anymore.
Because, I don't know, I started developing anxiety, and it's like, that's not easy to hide. Like, I'm not going to say it made me stronger, because it didn't. Like, it's definitely made me a lot weaker, and I sort of miss who I was.
The only thing I can really say about it is me, myself, would not be who I am today, where I am today, if things didn't happen the way they were, whether it be for better or for worse. So I can't exactly say that it was a good or a bad thing.